Hello my dear children, once again welcome to our physics class. Hope you all are fine over there. In the previous session we had discussed about collision, both elastic and inelastic collision. Hope you might have understood about the properties of elastic as well as inelastic collision. Today we will discuss elastic collision in one dimension and elastic collision in two dimension in detail. We are trying to find out an expression for the final velocities of objects after collision. So please be attentive, it's a derivation. Be ready with your pen and notebook and try to do the derivation along with me. Okay children, so let's get started. So children, let's discuss collision in one dimension. We had already discussed about collision in one dimension in our previous class. So if the initial and final velocities are along the same straight line, then it will be a collision in one dimension. And we are trying to find out an expression for the final velocities of the objects after collision. Okay, so here we have considered two objects, A and B. M1 is the mass of object A. M2 is the mass of object B. Initially, A is moving faster than B. Velocity of A, initial velocity of A is u1, initial velocity of B is u2. So initially u1 is greater than u2. That means A is moving faster than B. So after some time A and B collide. After collision, A and B moves along the same straight line but with different velocities. So v1 and v2 are the velocities of objects A and B after collision. So this is the case before collision and this is the case after collision. Now here I told you whether it is any collision, linear momentum is conserved. And again this is an elastic collision, so linear momentum is conserved. Conservation of linear momentum yields m1u1 plus m2u2 equal to m1v1 plus m2v2. We know m1u1 is the momentum, initial momentum of A, m2u2 is initial momentum of B. Similarly, so this quantity on the LHS represents total momentum before collision. And here m1v1 is final momentum of A, m2v2 is final momentum of B. So quantity on the right hand side represents total momentum after collision. And conservation of linear momentum states total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. Then here we need to do some rearrangements. Bring this m1v1 to LHS side and bring this m2u2 to RHS side. So m1v1 becomes minus m1v1, m2u2 becomes minus m2u2. Again, here m1 is the common factor, so take it outside and you are left with u1 minus v1. And here m2 is the common factor, so here you will get m2 into v2 minus u2. So let this be our equation 2 and let this be our equation 1. Again, since it is an elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved. So by conservation of kinetic energy we can write, that means kinetic energy before collision is equal to kinetic energy after collision. So half m1u1 square plus half m2u2 square is kinetic energy, total kinetic energy before collision. Similarly, half m1v1 square plus half m2v2 square is kinetic energy after collision. Now here also half is common factor, it will cancel, like terms will be cancelled. Then we are left with m1u1 square. Then bring this m1v1 square to the LHS part, so it will become minus m1v1 square. m2u2 square, take it to RHS part, so it will become minus m2u2 square. And here m1 is the common factor, so you will get m1 into u1 square minus v1 square. Here m2 is the common factor, so you will get m2 into v2 square minus u2 square. Again, the terms in the bracket is in the form a square minus b square. And you know a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. So u1 square minus v1 square is equal to u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1. Similarly here v2 square minus u2 square is equal to u2 plus v2 plus u2 into v2 minus u2. So let it be our equation 5 and let this be our equation 3, let this be our equation 4. Now divide equation 5 by 2. So this is equation 5 and this is equation 2. Divide equation 5 by 2. First you divide the LHS part. When you divide the LHS part, you will get m1 into u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1 divided by LHS of equation 2 is m1 into u1 minus v1. Divide it. Here also divide the RHS part of equation 5 with RHS part of equation 2. So here you will get m2 into v2 plus u2 into v2 minus u2 divided by m2 into v2 minus u2. Now here m1 will be cancelled. u1 minus v1 will cancel. Here m2 will get cancelled. v2 minus u2 will be cancelled. And you are left with u1 plus v1 equal to v2 plus u2. So let this be our equation 6. So children, from equation 6 we got u1 plus v1 equal to v2 plus u2. And from this equation we are just finding out an expression for v2. So from this v2 is equal to u1 plus v1 minus u2. Okay. So that is written here, v2 is equal to u1 plus v1 minus u2. Now substitute this expression of v2 in equation number 1. Okay, so substitute this expression in equation number 1. So it is our first equation. This is our first equation. m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So here instead of v2, substitute the expression that is u1 plus v1 minus u2. So whenever you substitute, you will get m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Instead of v2, substitute this expression. Then here remove the bracket. So you will get m2 into v1 plus m2 into u1 minus m2 into u2. Now here do some modifications. Here you will get m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Then bring this minus m2 u2 LHS part. So you will get plus m2 u2. Then bring this m2 u1 to LHS part. So plus m2 u1 will become minus m2 u1 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v1. Now here u1 is a common factor. Here also u1 is a common factor. So you will get u1 into m1 minus m2 plus m2 u2 plus m2 u2 will be 2 m2 u2. So plus 2 m2 u2 equal to, here v1 is the common factor. So v1 into m1 plus m2. Now from this expression v1 is equal to m1 minus m2 into u1 plus 2 m2 u2 all divided by m1 plus m2. So let this be our equation 7. So we got the expression for final velocity v1 of object A. So this is v1, final velocity of object A after collision. Similarly, we can write the final velocity of object B after collision. So just interchange m1 and m2 in the expression and u1 and u2 in this expression. You will get the expression for v2. So here m1 minus m2 will become m2 minus m1. u1 will become u2. Here 2m2 u2 will become 2m1 u1. Then m1 plus m2, write it as it is, m1 plus m2 itself. And this is the expression for final velocity of object B after collision. Okay, and here we consider some cases. First case, m1 is equal to m2 equal to m. That means if masses of both the objects are equal, then what will be the final expression? So if m1 is equal to m2, then m1 minus m2 will be 0, isn't it? So this term will vanish. Then here we are left with 2mu2 by m1 plus m2 will be 2m itself. So we get 2mu2 by 2m. 2m will cancel. v1 is equal to u2. Similarly, you will get v2 equal to u1. Here 2m will cancel because m2 minus m1 is 0, and 2m1 u1 by m1 plus m2 will be 2m. Okay, so v1 will be equal to u2 and v2 will be equal to u1. That means the bodies exchange their velocities after collision if the masses are equal. So if the masses of colliding objects are equal, the bodies will exchange their velocities after collision. Second case, if u2 equal to 0, that means if initial velocity of the object B is 0, that means initially if the object B is at rest and m2 is very much greater than m1, that means object B is very massive than object A. Then we can add, if m2 is very much greater than m1, then m2 minus m1 will be approximately equal to minus m2. That means we can neglect this m1 term because m1 is very small. So m1 minus m2 is approximately equal to minus m2, and m1 plus m2 is approximately equal to m2 because we can neglect this m1 term. So what will be the expression for v1? v1 is equal to, so may substitute all these assumptions in this expression 7. So v1, m1 minus m2 will be minus m2, then plus 2m2 u2 is 0, so this term will be 0, and here m1 plus m2 is approximately equal to m2 itself. So here you will get minus m2 u1 by m2. So m2 will cancel, you get minus u1. So v1 is equal to minus u1, but v2 is equal to 0. Why? Because in the case of v2, here we have m2 minus m1. m2 minus m1 is m2. Then here what is the problem? It is u2. So u2 is 0. Since u2 is 0, this whole term will be 0, and we can neglect this term because m1 is very small. So altogether we can write v2 is 0. So v2 is 0. So if the second object is initially at rest and if it is massive than the first object, then what happens? v1 will be equal to minus u1 and v2 is equal to 0. v2 means final velocity of object, second object, that is B, which is the massive one, and v1 is the final velocity of the lighter object, object A. So what happens? After collision, v2 is 0. That means the second object, the massive object, remains at rest, and the first body, that means the first object A, what is the velocity? v1 is equal to minus u1. That means it rebounds with the same velocity. u1 is the initial velocity of A. So after collision, the final velocity of A is equal to u1 itself, but in the negative direction. So what happens after collision? The lighter object A rebounds, goes back with the same velocity, and the massive object, the heavier object B, remains at rest. Okay, so these are some of the cases in collision in one dimension. Now similarly we can consider collision in two dimension. So this figure represents collision in two dimension. Okay children, so here we consider two objects. Let this be A, let this be B. m1 is the mass of first object, m2 is the mass of second object. Second object is initially at rest, so we can write u2 equal to 0. First object A is moving with the velocity u1. So u1 is the initial velocity of A along this direction. A goes and collide with B. So after collision, A moves along this direction and B moves along this direction. So this is the velocity of object A, final velocity v1 of object A after collision, and this is the final velocity of object B after collision. So here initial and final velocities are not along the same straight line. Here you can see direction of u1, direction of v1 and v2 are not along the same straight line. So it is not collision in one dimension. It can be considered as collision in two dimension. Here the velocity vectors v1 and v2 are acting along different directions. So we cannot add the velocity vectors. We need to resolve these two velocity vectors. We need to resolve these two velocity vectors. So here, first we can resolve the velocity vector v1. So when you resolve this vector, you must resolve into two mutually perpendicular components like this. And if this angle is theta 1, then this angle also will be theta 1. If this is theta 1, this component is adjacent to theta 1. So it is v1 cos theta 1. And this component will be v1 sin theta 1. Similarly, resolve velocity vector v2. And if you resolve it, you will get two mutually perpendicular components like this. And if this angle is theta 2, then this angle is also theta 2. This component is adjacent to theta 2. So this will be v2 cos theta 2. This component will be v2 sin theta 2. So which are the components along the vertical directions? That is v sin theta 1 and v2 sin theta 2. And which are the components along horizontal direction? v1 cos theta 1 and v2 cos theta 2. So here whether it is elastic or inelastic, momentum will be conserved. So if you consider the conservation of momentum along the x-axis, what is the total momentum before collision? m1 u1 plus m2 u2. That is the total momentum before collision equal to. And what is the total momentum after collision along the x direction? See here, the mass of the object is m1 and the velocity of the object along x direction is v1 cos theta 1. So this is the velocity along momentum along x direction, m1 into v1 cos theta 1 plus velocity of second object is v2 cos theta 2 along x direction, and momentum will be m2 into v2 cos theta 2. So this is the total momentum after collision along x direction. Similarly, what is the total momentum before and after collision along y direction? So here you can see there is no movement for the object along y direction initially. The object moves only along x direction initially. Only after collision we can see components along y direction. So initially the momentum along x direction will be 0. So that is written, initial momentum is 0. Then what is the final momentum? Final momentum will be total momentum along y direction. So here momentum along this direction is positive y direction is m1 into v1 sin theta 1, and momentum along negative y direction is m2 into v2 sin theta 2. So the total momentum along y direction is m1 v1 sin theta 1 plus minus m2 v2 sin theta 2. Minus sign indicates this v2 sin theta 2 is opposite to v1 sin theta 1. Okay. Similarly, energy conservation indicates half m1 v1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square equal to half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. Kinetic energy is also conserved. So that's all about collision in 2 dimensions. So we have completed this chapter. With this I am concluding this session and this chapter also. Notes of the topic and YouTube video have been uploaded. Just go through it. We will meet in the next session. Till then, take care all of you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.